Hey, I'm Mike, and this is the weekly recap for the week of August 13th to the 19th. I'm a little sick right now, so if I'm a little bit more stuffy than usual, that'll be why. This past week, I tried not to play a whole lot of WoW, or at least not as much as I would have liked, just because I really want to play WoW, but I'm trying not to burn myself out anyway before the War Within comes out, and that way when it does come out, I'm just jumping in and onto the game and doing new stuff. One thing I was working on this past weekend was the Blood Elf Heritage armor, as well as the Blood Elf mount, the extra one, and then because I was doing on my Paladin, getting the transmog for him as well. I needed to get level 60 on a Blood Elf for the longest time, and I finally got that because of pre-patch, so I was able to get all of that done. It was nice and relaxing, didn't really take too long, wasn't difficult. And this transmog just looks absolutely sick. I love the way it looks. With my artifact as a weapon, it just perfect. And then also the red set, which I believe is for Paladins, it just looks really, really good as well. So I might use that on a different Paladin because I do like that set a lot as well. With all the max level characters I have now, I do want to go through and unlock all the heritage armor for all of the races. I may or may not do another one this week before the War Within comes out, but I'll probably just wait until after when I'm kind of looking for something to do in the War Within. Just really quick, because my mage had done some time walking last week, he had some shoulder options in his vault. One was tier, one wasn't. I just took the one that was tier just to save myself a trip to the Catalyst, and his item level jumped up to 482.12, which is where he will likely end the expansion. On my warrior, I noticed after the patch on Tuesday that all of the world quests and the dragon riding world quests had their gold rewards reduced. So this week I didn't spend any time really going through those, which sucks because I liked the world quests in Dragonflight, especially the dragon riding ones as a very quick way to get 500 gold per quest. From what I hear though, the world quests in the War Within are rewarding that level of gold, so hopefully those world quests are actually enjoyable just like they were in Dragonflight. For achievements this week, I don't really know what happened because I thought I ended the week last week at 39,030 points, but based on the achievements that I got this week, it would indicate that I was starting at 39,045, so I don't know where those additional 15 points came from. I'm not gonna complain about it, but I just have no idea where they came from. I'm ending the week at 39,070 points. I started off by getting one of the Warcraft Rumble Mini achievements. I just in time finished up my Zaralik Caverns Tour of Duty achievement, which is to get 1,000 honor in the zone. I just did the world quest every week for 50 honor each, so that took 20 weeks. And then I spent a lot of time fishing this week for a mount as well as my last Lunkers achievement. I think in total I spent like 6 to 8 hours fishing this week, so that was where the majority of my time actually went. But this Lunkers achievement was the last one that I needed for the Dragonflight Reputations tab, so I'm all done there, which is very exciting. For mounts this week, I did Dragon Soul 15 times. That is all of my level 70 retail characters, and I hated it. And I'm starting to reach that point where I'm actually starting to laugh at getting to the last boss and not getting them out, like this Joker laugh. And with the Mop Remix characters going into retail this week, that's a lot more runs, and I'm scared. But there's one cool thing I learned from Reddit. When you first fly up to the top of the temple after you've killed the first 3 bosses, if you jump off and die, respawn, and run through the portal, that portal that goes to the Eye of Eternity will immediately pop up. So you can save yourself like a minute or so of RP. And doing it on 15 characters, that adds up. I will not be doing Dragon Soul on 43 characters this week, or probably ever, because that is just sad. I don't know if I'll do that many Dragon Soul runs even this week, just because like I said, I want to play a whole lot and burn myself out, especially with Dragon Soul. Another thing that I kind of found funny was that a lot of the alts I was running through, they could get upgrades from Dragon Soul. So as I was selling gear, I was like checking whether the stats were better, and there were actually some pieces of gear that were upgrades, so a lot of my alts are running Dragon Soul gear right now. I mentioned how I spent a lot of time fishing this week, and one of the things I was fishing for were the coins of the Dragon Isles, which made it so I could get this auto mount. He is adorable. I love the glasses. He's just so cute. There was a nice little diving board in the area that you kind of finish up this quest line, and I just took my guy for a swim. And the other mount that I got this week was the Elusive Emerald Hawkstrider. Like I mentioned earlier, I was doing the Blood Elf Heritage armor stuff, but I was also doing the quest line for this mount, so I was able to get that. I kind of like this mount. It's really not that bad. I'm usually not a fan of Hawkstriders, but this one just kind of looks nice. So this week, with all the Mop characters going into retail, I would like to log into all of them, clean up their bags, and kind of get any gold that I want into my warbank. Spend that time going through all of my alts in general, just making sure all their bags and stuff and quest logs and all that are all cleaned up. I don't know if I'll get through all 43, but just getting as many as I can done would be nice. Also this week, I'm finally going to update my graphics drivers. Been holding off on that for 4 months. Windows has been bugging me for some updates for the last little bit, so I'm going to do those. Hopefully everything goes well and I don't have to troubleshoot. I'm going to be backing up my UI and my add-ons, which I recommend everyone do often, but especially before an expansion comes out, because you never know what's going to break and you don't want to spend the initial part of the expansion redoing anything there. And then on Thursday, because I pre-ordered, The War Within comes out, and I hopefully will be playing it. My main is on Area 52 though, and my alts are on Stormrage, so I might not get to play. If I can, that'd be great, but based off previous experiences, it might not work out that well. At the very least, it'd be nice to be able to log into most, if not all of my characters to get the rested experience stuff started. And then ideally Friday and Saturday, I'd like to be leveling. The sooner the better I get to 80, I think. I'd like to get 80 on Saturday just so that I can spend like the day on Sunday just doing stuff. I know we're kind of limited as to what we can do, but just having that would be nice. Because I don't have time off to take at work, I'm just going to be playing through the weekend, so I'm not getting anything crazy in terms of food or snacks. Usually I'd buy like this combination of like healthy snacks and then junk food, and then just kind of mishmash throughout the week or two that I took off. But again, because I only have the weekend, I'm probably just going to order like some pizza and wings on Friday or Saturday. I'm kind of actually looking forward to it. I haven't had wings in a while, so it'd be nice to have that. Might get myself like a Coke or something, because I haven't had a soda pop all year, and that's something I'm looking forward to be honest. And I'm just looking forward to enjoying the launch, as buggy and crazy and hectic as it may be. So I am very excited. I'm very much looking forward to it, and I'm excited to make next week's video when I start talking about The War Within and my experiences in it. Just really quick before I go into my outro, on Friday of last week I posted my MoP Remix review, talking about whether or not it lived up to the hype. So if that's something that interests you, make sure to check that out, and let me know what you thought of MoP Remix in the comments on that video. I have a video coming out this Thursday before The War Within launches, talking about whether or not Dragonflight was one of the best expansions, if not the best expansion ever. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are as well, so make sure to check that one out when it comes out. But that's enough out of me. Let me know what's going on in your world. What are you up to? What are you liking? What are you watching? What are you listening to? What are you doing in WoW? What are you excited for in WoW? What's your plan for launch? Did you take any time off? What are you eating? Anything and everything, I'd love to hear about it. If you've already subscribed to my channel, I really appreciate it. I'm working towards 100K, and that little bit helps, so thank you. If you haven't yet subscribed and you like this video or any of my others, hitting that button would really mean a lot to me. I love you either way though. Thanks so much for watching. I'm gonna go try and be a little less sick so I can enjoy The War Within a little bit more. Have a great week, have a great launch, and I cannot wait to talk about The War Within next week. See ya.